I let my wife's parents find the guest room locked. My mother-in-law Carol has a key to our house, and she uses it whenever she feels like it. No text, no knock. I'd come down at 8 a.m. on a Saturday, and she'd be at my kitchen table drinking my coffee like she paid the mortgage. When I brought it up, my wife Lauren said, "That's just how mom is. She means well." The guest room was the real problem. Carol had slowly turned it into hers. Her robe on the hook, her creams lined up on the dresser, a framed photo of Lauren's graduation she'd brought over herself. She'd started calling it my room, as in, "Don't move my slippers, they go under my bed in my room." Lauren's parents gave us $30,000 toward the down payment 3 years ago, and Dan, my father-in-law, never lets me forget it. Every holiday it's practically our house too, haha. Nobody ever laughed but him. I let it go for a long time. Then in April, I found Carol in the guest room with the closet open, going through a box of our tax paperwork. She said she was just tidying. I told Lauren that night, and Lauren said I was being paranoid. Then the mail started. Envelopes showing up with Carol's name at our address. A dentist reminder. A pharmacy statement. I asked Lauren why her mom's mail was coming to our house. Lauren didn't know. I did the math anyway. One afternoon, Carol left her phone charging on our counter, and a text lit up from her sister Pam. It said, "So excited you're finally moving in with Lauren and the baby coming. When's the big day?" I read it twice. Carol had never said a word to me. I asked Lauren later, and Lauren had no idea either. Carol had decided on her own that she was moving into our guest room permanently, and from the mail, she'd already filed the paperwork. Here's the part that got me. Dan didn't know. Carol was planning to leave him and move into our house, and she'd told half her family before she told her own husband or us. I didn't blow it up. I wanted her to walk into it herself, so I called a locksmith and changed the lock on the guest room door. Then I spent a weekend clearing it out, boxed up every robe, every cream, the graduation photo, all of it, and stacked it in the garage. I painted the room a soft yellow and put a crib together, because Lauren was 8 weeks along, and we'd been waiting to tell anyone. Then I invited both her parents to Sunday dinner. They got there at 5 p.m. Carol didn't even sit down. She headed straight for the hallway, saying she wanted to drop her bag in her room. She hit the locked door and rattled the handle twice. "Why is this locked? Lauren, why is my door locked?" I said, "It's not your room, Carol." She turned around fast. "Excuse me?" I said, "It's the baby's room now." Lauren put her hand on her stomach. Carol's face did something complicated. Dan said, "Baby? What baby? Wait, what's she talking about, her room?" And there it was. I looked right at Dan and said, "You should ask Carol. She's been forwarding her mail here. Her sister thinks she's moving in this summer." Dan turned to her slow. "Moving in where?" Carol started stammering about how she just wanted to help with the baby, how she'd mentioned it. Dan said, "Mentioned it to who? You never mentioned it to me." She said, "Dan, not here." He said, "No, here's good. You told Pam before you told me?" I unlocked the door and pushed it open so they could both see the crib and the fresh paint, and none of Carol's things anywhere. I said, "There's no room for you here. There never was. Your stuff's in the garage." Carol tried. "After everything we did for you, that down payment." Dan cut her off. "Stop, just stop." He looked at me and Lauren, said congratulations real quiet, then told Carol to go get her coat. She didn't move, so he said it again. She got her coat. Carol hasn't set foot in our house since. Dan drove back the next morning and handed me her key himself.